Hey friends, it's Christy here over at Crafty Christy's Creations, and today I want to talk to you about turning digital papers into digital patterns inside of Silhouette Studio. So, as you may know, every month I do a craft challenge, and for August 2021, I'm trying something different, and I've released these 6 digital papers with the back to school paper collection. And you can grab that over at craftychristyscreations.com/craft challenge. And there's some other ones there that you can grab as well. But I just want to show you another way that you can use these digital papers to make them a little bit more customizable. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to open up a blank page. And what we're going to do is actually open up our library. And I'm going to come down to patterns. And you can see that I'm in my patterns folder because it is kind of grayed out here. So that's where you know you're at. And then what I'm going to do is navigate to where I have those digital files at. And I've got them pulled up here. And I'm using the JPEG version, not the PNG. So again, we're using the JPEG file version. I've already selected all the ones that I want. And I'm going to click and drag all 6 of those into my patterns folder. And then we can get rid of that. And now you can see they've uploaded and then they're syncing into my Silhouette library. So now that we all have all of our digital papers there, now we can come back here and I'm going to use them to apply to whatever I want. So I'm going to type out back to school. Okay, and then let's just go ahead and I like to use impact font when I want to fill. Because I find it, it's nice and it's chunky and thick, so it makes it a good font to put in a pattern. So we'll get that going here and we can just center that to the page. And with that still selected, I'm going to come over to the paintbrush here, which is your fill panel. And then all the way to the right, you've got this fill pattern. And then in here, the top ones are all like the preloaded fill patterns that Silhouette provides. And then if you keep scrolling down, you'll come to another section called patterns or whatever you labeled this as. And these are the ones that you've uploaded yourself. So if you use digital patterns that you buy other places, you'll find those here under this second section. And then again, with the words still selected, I can go ahead and tap on one of the patterns and then it's going to fill my word with that pattern. Now you can see right now it's really small. So if we come under here under advanced options, there's lots of things that you can do to it. I like to keep the aspect ratio to maintain it. And what that means is that it's going to keep a proportion of the length and the width of the design to be the same. What I like to do is use the scale and then also the pan pattern. So what you can do with the scale is I can click and I can make that larger so you see more of each of the pieces, or you can make that really small and then you just kind of get smaller look at those words. So we can pull that up a little more, and then pan pattern, I can click and you'll see it brings up this little arrow or this little circle with some arrows in it. And if you click on that and then you can drag, and that's going to pan your pattern to show different pieces of it through your letters. You can go up, you can go down, left, right, to just get things to fit in your word or whatever shape that you want to fill. And then if I decide this is not the pattern that I want to use, with everything still selected, I can go ahead and grab a different pattern. And then I'll go ahead and fill with that. And then, we can make these same changes. We can pull this pattern larger. And what I really like about this is I know like these patterns that I made, the stars were really big. And maybe you want something a little smaller so it looks like this. And with the ability to change these patterns, these digital papers into a pattern, is that you're able to scale and pan them to fit better versus just using them as they are in printing. So I thought this was really neat. And then we can pan to make some changes. And then, like I said, the same goes for a shape. So I can pull, we can make ourselves a star here. And then I can fill this with a different pattern. Again, I can scale that as well. And then I can also pan. I will say that, there are some limitations. You can see there's some fine white lines here. And that is just where the pattern, I made these papers to be 12 by 12. So when you scale, mostly when you scale small, you're going to kind of see the edge of those seams. And that's where the computer basically tried to put your 12 by 12 pattern back together. So this is where, as you zoom in, you'd want to kind of move that around to get those lines out of there when it's scaled the direction that you want. And, anytime you're scaled less than 100% is when you're going to run into that. And more so, these ones that have colored backgrounds than these ones that have white backgrounds, it's not going to be as noticeable. So that is just something to note. But that is how you can add your own fill patterns to Silhouette Studio. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, click like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any future Silhouette Studio tutorials. Until next time, with love, Crafty Christy!